Welcome to the Spen and Nick Show. Today we are going to have a masterclass from Nick Himo about how to generate inbound leads on LinkedIn. I cannot wait. Let's get straight to it. So Nick, you've made some awesome posts on LinkedIn recently and things seem to be starting to work out for you. Tell us about what's going on. What are you doing? How are you upping your LinkedIn game?
Well, let me first start by saying that I've managed to actually get a few people start contacting me for work, having never met me before and just found me by literally searching for like innovation coach or business coach or innovation consultant or business consultant on LinkedIn. So they're sending me messages saying, we'd like to work with you. And these are some businesses that are like £60 million revenue businesses that want me to help them with their strategy. And so what I want to do is share with you my top 4 tips that I've picked up to be able to help you get inbound leads on LinkedIn. But again, I think we need to caveat it, right, Spencer, with something you were telling me just before we started recording.
Yeah, look, none of this is about quick overnight wins. It's not going to be the get-rich-quick scheme. This is not how to make $1 million with just one post. This is all about how to play the long game to get yourself into a position where you're sustainably generating like random leads that come from nowhere, just come from your content and come from the aura that you create through LinkedIn. So this is about playing a long game. And actually, you've been doing this, I reckon, for a couple of years. You've been kind of focusing a lot of your activity on LinkedIn, right?
Definitely. And I think, well, yeah, let me share with you, let me go straight into it now with the top 4 things.
Let's go through the tips.
So number 1, I think you've got to have a clear headline. So what I've done is I've really enjoyed doing, using a lot of strategizers tools, the value proposition canvas, the business model canvas. So I like working through and using those with clients. And I know that a lot of companies are searching for people to help with that. So I put that in my headline and I think that helps a lot. The next thing that I also do is lean startup is the methodology, the approach that I use. So I've got that in my headline as well. I've got business coach in there as well, because that's the type of thing that people can put you in a box with, which is helpful because like you need to make sure that you're putting in your headline things that actually people are searching for or things that people know about. A business coach is one of them. And I've put, I think, strategy coach in there as well. So strategy coach, business models, value propositions, lean startup, design thinking, I think I've put in there as well. So it's all these things.
And a lot of these things seem to be quite similar to SEO type strategies when you're thinking about website. You're thinking about keywords that might rank well on Google. This is more keywords that people will find you through the LinkedIn algorithm. And then, of course, the things that people want to see when they touch it. So that human kind of SEO side of things.
Exactly. So
really thinking about those keywords, right? Is that a similar kind of analogy?
I think so. And I think it works on LinkedIn. Yep. I think this is a really important thing. And on top of that, and thinking about the human side of things, just make sure that you've got an inviting photo. I don't think my photo is the best, but it's not the worst. So try and make sure that you've got quite an inviting photo. I'd also say having like your experience listed out quite clearly and it looks like it tells a story, I think is quite helpful as well. And having a few kind of recommendations isn't going to hurt as well. That's like the basic stuff. The next thing is content. Tip 2, content. So we're producing a lot of content and posting it. And what I think that does is when you're posting content, it reminds people that you exist and that you're front of mind. So even if you haven't spoken to them, but they see a bit of your content, they go, Nick remembers, Nick exists. And even if they only see like 3 seconds of it, you've just like impacted them a little bit. And then that happens regularly over time. And so you might never even spoken to them for like 2 years, but then they still remember you and they might have a fondness about you as well. Because also what it does is by creating content, you can actually create like enemies or create people that don't like your content. But you also create people that do like it. And it's kind of good to have those people that don't like it because you're kind of repelling them because they're probably not going to buy from you anyway. What you want to do is make content and that, yeah, some people don't like it, but those that do like you even more. And then that builds the relationship even better. So that's another reason why I think content's really, really important.
And when we talk about content, we're talking about the videos that we create. So you may well already have come to this video from a post that you see Nick or me a post or someone that shared it. So it's actually generating more hits on these videos, but that is kind of that self-perpetuating cycle of creating content for YouTube, remixing that, putting it on LinkedIn, getting both of those things, sending traffic to each other, actually generates, again, that top of mind, that your top of mind when people think about innovation consultancy, when they're thinking about kind of facilitation. So that's a really great position. It might be that no one is ready for that service yet. People aren't ready for that service yet, but if you're top of mind, you're going to be the first person that people think about as well. And actually, your content doesn't have to be video. It can be blogs, it can be articles. I'm doing a lot of Instagram carousels at the moment, and now what I've started to do is take those Instagram carousels, turn those into PDFs, and put them as a LinkedIn carousel, which is actually generating way more interest than my original Instagram carousels. I'm getting a lot of views, getting a lot of comments, getting a lot of likes, and so all I'm doing there is kind of regurgitating, remixing that same content that's going out onto a different platform and kind of redistributing it through LinkedIn. It's really, really good process.
And then I think
well worth doing.
The next one is webinars as well. I think trying to make sure, like, well, traditionally it would be try and do talks and get out there and get your name out there and just speak to people, meet people. But I think nowadays, particularly with lockdown and everything, just doing regular webinars, being able to get in front of people is so important, because then afterwards, and that's my third point, but what I'd like to do is jump onto the fourth point, which is if you haven't then, if you don't know all the people that are on those webinars, connect with them. So while you're doing your webinar, at the beginning and the end of it, say, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn so you can build up your audience. And then what I like to do is send a nice message to each person, say thank you for coming to the webinar. And you know, because when you send someone a connection request, I think it's so important that, especially if they've come to a webinar and you haven't spoken to them one-on-one, is you want to put some text in there and try and make it personal to them. And I think that's going to help you create that connection more. This is one of the biggest opportunities for us right now, particularly with working from home more and not being able to get out and network. So I think if you try those 4 things, number 1, get your headline right, get your experience right, get your photo like looking pretty good. 2, create content and just pump it out as much as you can. Don't even worry about the quality, just write stuff. Like, there's things that are like you don't even think is that great, or you might just read something and go, oh, that's cool, post it. Like, you know, write a little story about something an insight that happened, and it might be nothing, but write it down. You never know what's the thing that's going to shoot off. It's like a lot of these bands, like, you know, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, a lot of their most famous songs, they didn't think were going to be huge hits, right? They just made them. They didn't even like them in a lot of cases. They post them and they were like, that's the one that people liked. It's the same with your content. You don't know which piece of content is the one that's going to really take off. 3, do webinars, get your name out there, speak to new people regularly. And then 4, connect to people, particularly from your webinars, that if you don't know them already, send them personalized messages and keep in touch with people. If you do those 4 things, I'm not saying that you're going to get that £1 million deal straight away, but you know, it's going to help you and put you in a good place to get as much as possible from the platform. And at the end of the day, it's about bringing people value. If you bring people value and you put out a positive vibration in the world, you're going to get that positive vibration back. So yeah, that's my top tips. What do you reckon, Spencer?
So look, I think we talked about whether or not we'd classify this as a masterclass. I think those are 4 incredible tips. I am okay at some of those things. I'm pretty good at posting at the moment. I'm doing okay with creating content. I think I definitely need to check out my summary and my experience and my headlines, make sure that all tallies with the person that I want to project myself as. But one thing that you absolutely kick my ass on is the contacting people after webinars. You have a superpower for that. You do it so well, so regularly, so consistently, and I think that adds so much value. That's the thing that I really want.
I'll give you an extra tip for it. I'll give you an extra tip for it. I'll give you an extra tip. Oh. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'll give you an extra tip. Here's your 5 tips. So the last one.
We always needed 5. I'm so happy we've got to 5.
For number 5, make sure that you schedule in time after your webinar. Put it in your calendar, time for doing the admin, and prioritize the mess, because you don't prioritize it. You just think, yeah, I'll do it. But you haven't put it in your calendar. What is in your calendar gets done. What's not in your calendar doesn't. Simples.
I love that. What a great place to finish it. We would love to hear how you're tackling your LinkedIn work. Are you implementing any of these? Have you made any changes to LinkedIn? Do you see it as a valuable platform? Let us know. I'd love some comments. Comment on LinkedIn itself. Comment on YouTube. Comment wherever you like us. Share, like all the things. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe, follow us. Do all of that great stuff. And do you know why? Why?
Why? Go
Anyway,
on.
tell us why.
Why?
I thought you were going to do it.
No, I didn't know where you were going.
I didn't have anything to back it up. And then I thought,
I'll say why.
What am I going to do?
I'll say why.
God, tell us why.
Because it really helps us out. We want more people to see this content, and by you liking, sharing, subscribing, that really helps get more people seeing it. Helps the algorithm, because that makes that happy, and then we're all winners at the end of the day. So that's why it'd be lovely if you could like this video and subscribe as well if you're watching it on YouTube, and share it.
And remember,
with a
kids.
friend. Go on.
Remember, kids. A happy algorithm means a happy human.
In many cases. On that bombshell, let's leave it there. See you later, everyone. Take care.
See you later.
Bye.